could Pitt be national team champs in a couple of years? And you may look at this now and think that's kind of crazy because where's Pitt been the last couple of years? And that's completely understandable. And I'm going to throw out a couple of things. Maybe I can change your mind on why they can do really well as a team in the national tournament in upcoming years in 2020, 2021, 2023, up until 2024 with a couple of their guys that they have in the lineup. So right now their team is 12-3 this year. They just put up a win against Duke this past weekend. And this is big because last year they were 4-11. So this is a complete turnaround. And of course, this is really due to the coaching change that Pitt went through. They brought in a new coach and who has really turned their program around. Now, of course, they had a couple guys that the old coach had recruited prior to him coming in. But what happened now is he turned the program around. Just looking at past couple years, though, last year was kind of a down year for them. But the year before that, 2017, they were 11-5. Year before that, they were 10-7. So they put up decent schedules, decent wins. But this year, they've showed that they're doing really well. Of course, 2 weeks ago, Pitt beat NC State, who's number 8 in the country. And unfortunately, they did put up losses against Oklahoma State, who is a top 3 team, top 4 team in the country right now. Virginia Tech, they lost to, and UNC, who are both part of the ACC. Of course, Pitt, University of Pittsburgh, is part of the ACC. So a couple of their great guys. Let's get right into this. At 184 pounds is Nino Bonaccorsi, who is number 6 in the country, who's a redshirt freshman. Going down the lineup, 133, they have Micky Phillippi, who is number 5 at 133. They have Kellan Stout at 197, who's still ranked a little bit lower ranked at 18, but he's still a top 20 guy. He's a redshirt junior. Demtrius Thomas, who we said a couple weeks ago is a guy to watch at the national tournament at the heavyweight level. He is a redshirt junior. And Taleb Rahmani, who is a redshirt junior at 157 pounds, is a top 10 guy. So those are all, 4, 5, 6 really great guys that Pitt has, and they will have for the upcoming 2, 3, 4 years. A couple other good guys to mention is Balzac at 141 pounds, who is a state qualifier, redshirt freshman, who can do well in the upcoming years. At 125 pounds, they will have Lois Newell, who is a freshman, 2-time state runner-up in Pennsylvania. At 141 pounds, Cole Matthews, who's a freshman, PIAA state champ from Reynolds, and Jake Wenzel, who's a redshirt sophomore at 165 pounds. So those are all guys who are solid and will keep Pitt growing. But as far as, these great guys, talking about the Philippies, the Bonaccorsis, the Stouts, I just want to get into, what they've done this season and why I think they can really help kick up the Pitt program. So at 131 pounds, I'm just going to go right down in weights. 133 pounds, redshirt freshman is Micky Phillippi. Right now, he's 15-2 on the season. And of course, he recorded a big major win this year against Dayton Fix. And that really put Phillippi on the map as a top guy to watch at the NCAA tournament. Potential, national finalist we could see. He beat Pletcher, but he lost to Soriano and Corbin Myers. Now, of course, 133 pounds is crazy this year, so that could end up anywhere in March. But Phillippi is going to be a force to reckon with as a redshirt freshman. At 157 pounds, redshirt junior Taleb Rahmani. Now, he's a 2-time NCAA qualifier. So he's qualified for the national tournament in the past, and he's done pretty well. He's a 2017 ACC champion. So, that's showing some real true grit there. And he's actually a state champ from Ohio. So, this guy, Taleb, he's got it going on, and he'll do well for Pitt at 157 pounds. Maybe he can become an All-American this year. Of course, he is ranked top 10 right now. He's number 6. So if he can All-American, good for him and good for Pitt. That'll get some points for him. At 197 pounds, Actually, I'm sorry. Let's go to 184 first. Is Nino Bonaccorsi. So Nino is a state qualifier, couple times state runner-up from Pennsylvania, from Bethel Park, and in the past couple weeks, he's put up some big wins. One, first he beat Chip Ness, who was a top 10 ranked guy. Nino at the time was lower in the ranks, maybe 20, 19, 18. Beat Chip Ness, who's around the 14 rank at the time. And in last week's duel against NC State, he beat Nick Reenan, who is the number 2 kid in the country. So Bonaccorsi there is showing that he's out for a national title as well. Of course, he will have Miles Martin in his way, who's looking to get another national title. But Nino Bonaccorsi's shown up big as a redshirt freshman, and he'll do well for Pitt in the next couple of years. 197, you have redshirt junior Kellan Stout, who he transferred from Penn State last year, 2 years ago, and he transferred to University of Pittsburgh, and he's done well. You know, he is a PIAA state champ from Mount Lebanon, so he can do well this year, and you know, hopefully he can All-American. And finally, at 285 pounds, you have Demtrius Thomas, who is he's number 14 in the country right now, so he's just kind of on that edge of, you know, qualifying for nationals, and if he does well at the tournament, he can, you know, possibly All-American. But he's a redshirt junior. He's actually coming out of the NAIA, as a national champ, which is essentially like a D3 college program, college national tournament. So he's coming out of there as a national champion. And this guy, Demtrius Thomas, he started wrestling as a freshman in high school and is really doing well in the collegiate level. And, you know, if he can stick around the next 2 years, he could really show up for Pitt. And then I'm going to throw one more big, you know, idea in this mix is, what if Gavin Teasdale, who of course just left Penn State at 125 pounds, what if Teasdale transfers into Pitt? Now, of course, Teasdale is from around the Pittsburgh area, and he has connections with all those guys there. If he comes in at 125 pounds, he could really be packing a punch. With him at 125, Phillippi at 133, he's got a great training partner, and that could really boost Pitt up to another level, really recruit those top WPIAL guys, the guys who are, you know, some of the top guys in the country who compete at a national level every single year. You know, if Teasdale transfers there, that could be a major game changer for Pitt. And I want to let you know, get your guys' opinion. What do you think about, could Pitt be national champions? Please leave a comment down below. I don't think that they're actually going to be competing for a national title. Of course, you still have teams like Oklahoma State, Penn State, and Ohio State who are always going to be in that top 3 hunt. Even Iowa, I really think is going to step it up over the next couple of years. However, I think Pitt, you know, they could be a top 10 team, maybe even a top, you know, 8, flirting with an 8 team over the next couple of years, if their cards fall into the right places.